It's Friday, March 8. In the headlines, Jamaica to accept Haitian orphans as the country faces civil unrest. Jamaica celebrates International Women's Day. In business news, Jamaican-based Mursons Limited, A.S. Bryden & Sons Holdings Limited, acquires a 55% controlling stake in Stansfield. Regionally, Haiti extends a state of emergency, public gatherings banned and curfew prolonged. In sports, JRC plans race in recognition of International Women's Day. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, says Jamaica is willing to accommodate a specific group of Haitian people seeking asylum, orphans. This as chaos due to ongoing gang violence has forced tens of thousands to flee their homes in the past few days, adding to the more than 300,000 already displaced by gang violence. Dr. Chang made the disclosure during Thursday's sitting of the Standing Finance Committee in Parliament while being questioned by opposition legislator Julian Robinson about the impact of the worsening situation in Haiti may have on Jamaica.
I've been concerned about the approach we have taken in addressing those who come here as refugees. I accept that some of them may be motivated by, there may be some level of human trafficking in it. But our policy thus far has been to return them back to their shores, and we may be returning people to certain death. Given that deterioration, are we going to continue the policy of this automatic repatriation of persons who come from Haiti?
At this point, we have agreed to take a number of people legitimately, namely the orphans in an orphanage that was isolated and challenged, and the mustard seed community is taking them. We have agreed on the logistics of that being worked out. We have been requested by the World Bank to take their staff here, amount 53. We are working out the process to get that done.
He says the government is taking an active and leading role in trying to get regional states to help to bring some stability to Haiti.
The government is taking an active and leading role in trying to get CARICOM to bring some stability to work with partners internationally and international agencies to bring some stability to Haiti and to move us back to hopefully a more sustainable governance structure. Security-wise, we just seek to protect our borders, which means increasing the level of activity in our East Coast, South and North.
Haiti has been experiencing economic, security and political crisis for years. The assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021 dramatically worsened the situation. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry, who has been at the helm of the country since Moïse's death, has been marooned in Puerto Rico since Tuesday. Gangsters have threatened even more anarchy if he returns. They are demanding his resignation. We will have more in this report in the regional news segment of this newscast. Today, March 8, is International Women's Day. Minister with responsibility for gender, Olivia Grange, says the protection and advancement of women and girls continue to be a priority in Jamaica. She shared some of the ways in which this is being carried out while addressing attendance of International Women's Day commemorative church service. March 8 will be celebrated as International Women's Day. In Jamaica, the celebration started last Sunday with commemorative church service at the Gregory Park Baptist Church in St. Catherine. In her greetings, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, said the ministry's work is guided by a legislative framework which includes enabling policy agenda to provide protection and support for women and girls.
We have implemented the national policy for gender equality, the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act of 2021, the Domestic Violence Amendment Act of 2023, and the National Strategic Action Plan to eliminate gender-based violence in Jamaica.
On the matter of gender equality, Minister Grange notes the establishment of a policy to ensure the composition of all government boards has a minimum of 30% representation of either women or men to balance the scale.
The rise of women in leadership positions is ample evidence of the achievements gained over several decades and serves as an example of what is possible when we support and encourage our women.
Minister Grange maintained that investing in women and girls is non-negotiable.
The investment fosters social policy development, extensive research and sensitization, and awareness raising on a vast array of gender-specific issues for mentorship, coaching, and capacity building.
This year, the local IWD theme is Investing in Women and Girls in Leadership to Accelerate Gender Equality, Equity, and Socioeconomic Empowerment. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has renewed the call for increased productivity by Jamaica's labor force to further boost and sustain the country's economic growth. According to the Prime Minister, a strong performing economy will enable the government to undertake critical projects and programs that rebound to the benefit of all Jamaicans. Danita Rodney tells us more.
Addressing Wednesday's unveiling of the Amber UTech Launchpad at the University of Technology Jamaica main campus in Papine, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said a massive shift in the country's fiscal arrangement has been undertaken by the government in favor of the labor force, particularly in the public sector, and, in this regard, urged Jamaicans to improve their productivity outputs.
It is time that our electorate makes the connection that any increase we're going to have in the government's revenues, in what we are able to spend, it must now come from productivity. Each and every one of us in this room and everyone listening on social media and wherever this is going to be repeated, all the wishes that we have, all the desires that we have, all our ambitions, it comes from what we are able to produce.
Mr. Holness pointed out that no other administration has awarded such level of salary increase to public sector workers.
Let me say this. The history of and by the way, no other administration has given this kind of wage increase. None. There's none. The history of Jamaica's wage increases is that the government gives the wage increase and then takes it back with a wage freeze.
He maintained that while the government remains committed to doing more, improvement in productivity will have a positive impact on the economy.
I am committed, and I've committed my administration, to run the economy in such a way that we will never become a burden on you. That's number one. And secondly, we're running the economy in such a way that we will care for the most vulnerable, for the poor. We will also run the economy in such a way that we will create the opportunities for persons who are these special agents in the economy.
The Amber UTech Launchpad is a collaborative effort between the Amber Group and the University of Technology Jamaica. The initiative is designed to strengthen the growth and development of tech startups within Jamaica with the objective of nurturing and advancing entrepreneurial ventures. The Launchpad aims to facilitate the establishment and growth of 100 businesses within a span of 1,000 days. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Owned by Jamaican-based Mussons Limited, A.S. Bryden & Sons Holdings Limited, ASBH, has advised that it has acquired 55% controlling stake in Stansfield Scott Barbados Limited, SSB. SSB is a leading distributor and retailer of wine, spirits, and consumer health products in Barbados. SSB's products include El Dorado and Plantation Rums, Glenfiddich Whiskey, Stolchana Vodka, Banrock Station, Lamothe Parrot Wines, Twining Teas, Halboranage Vitamins, and Endura Malt. In addition to its distribution businesses, SSB operates 6 Wine World branded retail stores across Barbados. ASBH has also advised that Brian Cabral, the outgoing chairman of SSB, will retain an ownership interest in the company following the transaction and will remain a director. JN Fund Managers Limited has successfully arranged the execution of a $900 million debt raise for Fosrich Company Limited. Fosrich Company, a leading provider of electrical and lighting solutions, will be using the capital injections to commence operations in Guyana with a particular focus on expanding its service offering in PVC manufacturing, transformer repairs, and solar business. The decision to raise debt capital reflects Fosrich's commitment to capitalizing on growth opportunities in Guyana's burgeoning market while further diversifying its product and service portfolio. Jamaica's export earnings went up 16.9% to US $1.4 billion between January and October 2023, when compared to the similar period in 2022. This was due primarily to a 113.1% increase in the export of crude materials, excluding fuels. Jamaica's 5 main import trading partners for the period were the US, China, Brazil, Japan, and Colombia. Expenditures on imports from these countries increased by 0.5% when compared to the US $3.9 billion recorded in the similar 2022 period. This was due chiefly to higher imports of machinery and transport equipment. The top 5 destinations for Jamaica's exports were the US, Puerto Rico, Latvia, and the Russian Federation and Iceland. Export revenues from these countries increased by 17.1% to US $1.1 billion due to higher exports of aluminum. During trading on March 7, 2024, the top advancing stocks covered the energy, finance, and entertainment sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. MPC Caribbean Clean Energy Limited shares advanced by 27.15% for a $23.38 price increase to close at $109.48 with 70 shares traded. JMMB Group Limited 7.15% shares advanced by 9.52% for a 30-cent price increase to close at $3.45 with 8 shares traded. Pulse Investments shares advanced 9.36% for a 16-cent price increase to close at $1.87 with 176,862 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on March 7, 2024, the top 3 losers covered the energy, distribution, and entertainment sectors. Wigton Wind Farm Limited declined by 15.04% for a 17-cent price drop to close at 96 cents with 561,549,212 shares traded. Blue Power Group Limited declined by 13.93% for a 45 cents price drop to close at $2.78 with 155,951 shares traded. Supreme Ventures Limited declined by 12.08% for a $3.21 price drop to close at $23.36 with 274,000 shares traded. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, trading activity for March 7, 2024 on the first tier market registered a volume of 217,724 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at Trinidad and Tobago $1.6 million. JMMB Group Limited was the volume leader with 115,855 shares, changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $172,278.98, followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 53,188 shares being traded for Trinidad and Tobago $233,585.49. Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only active security on the mutual fund market, posting a volume of 4,095 shares valued at Trinidad and Tobago $92,286.14. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On March 7, 2028, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $14.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $13.8 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.11 and bought US dollar for $154.45. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.66, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $6.10 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $116.82 and bought for $110.72. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $8.80, selling it for $202.57 and buying it for $193.77. For the credit report tip of the day, when thinking about buying a vehicle, consider enlisting the help of a co-signer or joint applicant with stronger credit to bolster your loan application. Their creditworthiness can improve your chances of approval and may even result in more favorable loan terms. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Happy International Women's Day.
In regional news, a state of emergency in Haiti has been extended by a month as armed gangs continue their attacks. That includes setting fire to a police station and looting a food market. Gang leaders are demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry, who remains stranded abroad. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bull reports.
They say they are in charge, gangs controlling the streets of Port-au-Prince. On Thursday, firefights between armed groups and the police were ongoing in Haiti's capital. Prime Minister Ariel Henry remains in the U.S. territory Puerto Rico, unable to return to his country. Gangs say his return will trigger a civil war and are demanding his resignation.
We will not allow Ariel Henry to return. He's not good for Haiti.
The State Department says it's pushing Ariel Henry, who was not elected, to collaborate with a transition into a more inclusive government that will lead to free elections. As violence continues in the capital, port authorities were forced to halt operations after dozens of people looted the containers. Food distribution has become a problem as lawlessness looms across the country. The World Food Programme says they had to suspend their sea operations to distribute food because of the severity of the situation.
Ariel Henry did not rule the country well. He's traveling and we are starving.
The chaos in the country has forced the Dominican Republic to increase security at the border between both countries. Haitians are not allowed to cross into the Dominican Republic. They're only permitted to reach a market, to find crucial food and medical supplies, to sell or take back.
Security forces are on high alert in the Dominican Republic after gangs release thousands of prisoners from jail. And that's why men who are trying to come to a market that is not far away from here are being asked to line up for security checks.
Carmel says the Prime Minister has to resign and the world needs to send international assistance.
He has done nothing for the people, nothing. The Haitian National Police need more support to fight the violence. Haiti needs help.
The UN has set up a multinational security mission that would deliver personnel and equipment to assist the police. But nobody really knows when it will happen or if it will help deliver the stability people here desperately need. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Dajabón.
Barbadians are being encouraged to ask questions of vendors when purchasing produce. The advice from Acting Chief Agricultural Officer Michael James in light of what seems to be a prevalence of predial larceny. Speaking on the sidelines of the estimates debate in Parliament, Mr. James said not only farmers are being impacted by the theft of their produce. He says Barbadians must be cautious when purchasing produce.
Normally when persons hear about predial larceny, all they think about is the person who had the crop and it has been stolen. They just lost a crop. You just lost money. But it goes beyond that. You're talking about a crop, for instance, that has been sprayed. And say the time for that pesticide to wear off is 3 to 5 days. Sometimes it's longer depending on the type of pesticide. Somebody steals it after you have sprayed. What happens with it? Your health could be impacted by produce that has been stolen. You wanting a cheaper crop, so somebody's selling, let's say, a cabbage, and it's retailing at $5 a pound, and somebody's selling at $2, you're going to buy the $2 a pound crop. However, that crop still has a pesticide. It has not gone through the system. So what could happen is that you, by ingesting that particular crop, you ingest a whole lot of pesticide. And that has a lot of implications for your health. Some people could be allergic to it. Next thing you know, you could fall ill. So it is not just predial larceny affecting the farmer where the crop has been stolen, but it's impacting on the health of the person who might ingest a crop that has been sprayed prior.
In the Bahamas Reef Environmental Educational Foundation is warning of the dangers of oil spill. This after a spill in the Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago. Marlena Leonard tells us more.
For the past month, news of an oil spill in Trinidad and Tobago has dominated news in the region. The spill emanating from an overturned vessel has since spread hundreds of miles and into the waters of multiple neighboring countries. Earlier today, a month after the vessel capsized on February 7th, a release from Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Energy announcing that hydrocarbon discharge emanating from the vessel has stopped, saying the leak point is effectively being blocked by seawater that has filled compartments above it. The vessel is capable of carrying up to 35,000 barrels of fuel oil. That's almost 1.5 million gallons. But the exact volume of the spill itself is still unknown, and there are still questions surrounding the ownership, origins, and intended destination of the vessel. Toxic chemicals and fumes from spills can smother organisms, impact food sources, and wreak havoc on the livelihoods of those who rely on the ocean for income. The Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation recently weighing in on the spill, saying, despite assurances from industry proponents, the reality remains evident. There is no foolproof method to transport oil without posing a significant threat to delicate marine ecosystems and the people and businesses that depend on them. Casuarina McKinney-Lambert, the executive director of Brief, is also a founding member of Our Islands, Our Future, a coalition advocating for a permanent ban against oil drilling in the Bahamas. McKinney-Lambert says the recent events underscore the urgent need for sustainable, renewable energy alternatives, stating oil spills can cause irreparable harm to marine ecosystems. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
In sports, in honor of International Women's Day, the Jamaica Racing Commission, JRC, will be staging a trophy race on Saturday's 10-race card to commemorate the progress made by its 6 female stewards. Consultant at the JRC, Elizabeth Fitzcoy-Wuchup, says the race, the International Women's Day Trophy, is an overnight allowance contest for 3-year-olds and upward going 1 mile. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching. Have a pleasant weekend.